As you become formless, as you become nothing, you become everything. You came into this world formless and you started to duplicate. Your cells started to duplicate. The first organ to grow in your body was the heart. And you became who you are today. But who you are today, your interpretation of it, is only the mind and memory. It's the ego. And the ego is also a part of this oneness. It's also a part of this nothingness too. And so we don't want to ever put the ego down or consider it as something bad. However, we have to understand that it's a part of an illusion, because everybody watching this video right now is going to see it in a completely different way, interpret it in a different way. How you think about me, how you see me, how you hear my voice, how you see the color of the room, and what you feel as I'm speaking to you. There will be a general consensus, of course, but everyone's going to see it in their own unique way. And this is the universe, this is multifaceted way of expressing different personalities. And we tend to go for goals in our life. We tend to want to reach for the stars when we are the stars already, and not realizing that we are a part of being the star. You are a supernova, you are a superstar. Yet we see a state of separation when we are the sea, oneness, we are the trees, we are the birds. But we see separation. We see separation. That my goal is over there somewhere. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the YouTube channel. I'm going to start the LLC company. I'm going to start the business. I'm going to figure out this, figure out that. And as soon as you do that, from the mind, from the ego, you're stepping away from self. You're stepping away from the nothingness. You're stepping away from home, truth, God. Right? They say seek the kingdom first, and everything shall be done unto you. And many people are going externally, not realizing that they're leaving behind themselves. Because the world oftentimes gives us these paradigms, gives us these desires, gives us what we think we want. And it's okay to want them, but where is it coming from? As long as you recognize that there's no distance between you and the goal, it's okay. As long as you realize that the goal or the outcome that you want in life already exists, there's nothing to worry about. And what do I mean by your goal or your outcome already exists? So in the spiritual law of attraction community and manifesting community, right, we got this thing where we're creating or co-creating our reality. We are using reality creation. Right? Create is to imply that there was nothing and now there's something. Manifestation is, bringing something into fruition, right? But what we do when we're visualizing, what we do is we see things ahead of time. We see things in imagination in the future. We imagine becoming the version of ourselves that we want to become. This, at the same time, whilst we think it's good, and it can be, it creates separation. On a quantum level, everything is one. On an energetic level, everything is one. And so there is no gap. We imagine it in our brain as a gap, because that's the only way our brain knows how to interpret it, right? But in actuality, everything just is. So in that reality, the laws work differently and everything exists now. So the version of yourself on a quantum level already exists. There is no new version of yourself. There is no greatest version of yourself. There's just multitudes of different timelines, and you can choose which one you want to be in. So if it's more money, let's say it's $10,000 a month, for example, right? You want to make $10,000 per month. No, it's a random example, or you want to travel the world, right? Let's just say you want to do those things. On a quantum level, that version of you, that lifestyle, already exists. It's not something that you have to create. It's something that you have to choose. You just choose. It's a choice. It's not manifestation. It's not creation. It's not any of that. It's a choice. You just choose. And in choosing, we have to realize that there's no action too. And let me just explain this a little deeper, because Gavin does take action, right? I take action. But it's not coming from the space of taking action. It's not my ego saying, I have to take action, right? Oneness, flow, it's just happening through me. So the use of willpower and pushing and hustling or trying to make something happen, by putting in effort, we can create excess importance. Excess importance is when we make something too important, we put too much energy behind it, and it collapses. It runs away. It avoids. It slips away. And we wonder why we're never getting to the goal. Because we are believing in pendulums. We're believing in reality too much. And pendulums are energy forms that require our energy and our attention. So, for example, let's say the pendulum of manifesting a bunch of money, right? You start realizing around you that there's opportunities to make more money and stuff like that. You go buy the course and stuff like that. You get all excited and you get attached to chasing money, getting to the money, right? The pendulum's starting to swing. Guess what? It's going to swing the other way, right? It's going to swing the other way. And then you have disappointment, then you have sadness, or it didn't work out, the course was rubbish, or I didn't like it, I felt like I got scammed, or whatever, right? We come up with all these narratives. And then you see this new program, and then you buy the next program, right? And you get all excited again, dopamine loop, right? And then it's just the pendulum swinging back and forth, and the pendulum's got you. Okay, this could be changed to relationships, right? I'm gonna download Tinder, I'm gonna swipe, and blah, blah, I'm gonna get a date, blah 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 blah. Right? You go on a date, go on a few dates. Oh, this sucks. I'm gonna delete the app, and then it goes away, and then you start all over again, right? I'm lonely right now, feeling lonely. The pendulum's on the other side of the equation, and then you swing back because you want love. You're stuck in the pendulum of love. These are all belies. These are all beliefs. Okay. Become formless. Because as you become formless, you're no longer attached to the pendulums. Things don't affect you as much. You have a sense of stillness and equanimity. You realize that the goal that you want already is done. And you step into a state of flow. And you enjoy more what you do. You start to follow work that's more meaningful, that's more a part of your passion. That's the goals that you set before you came here. You listen to your truth and you allow it to come through you naturally. But Gavin, I'm trying to leave my job. You're stuck in the pendulum of a job. Right? I want to leave my job and I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to start my own business, or I want to create multiple streams of income. I want to create passive income. I want to have time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, personal freedom. I want to grow my spirituality. I want to become a better version of myself. All of these things that I'm sharing with you right now are pendulums. Pendulums want our attention. They're like spirits, right? And they want our attention. And once they have our attention, they require more energy from you. And then you get more and more drawn in. So even the concept of spirituality and manifesting is a pendulum. And the more deep you go, the more deep you go. Because in the law of attraction community, we have the famous emotion desire. Desire is a form of enslavement, as you can see here on the map of consciousness on the screen right now. Beyond that is becoming formless. Bruce Lee said it best. Become formless. Be like water. When you pour water into the cup, it becomes the cup, right? We have to realize that we are nothing, can merge with everything, right? Disappear. The brain is going to get in the way. The narratives are going to get in the way. The mind is going to get in the way. The emotions are going to get in the way of your true self, your true nature, which is that everything that you could want to imagine is already here now, and you just need to choose it. Whilst this 3D reality might take some time to see it in the physical form, because we live in the 3D realm, so we have time, whereas time is an illusion beyond the 3D. We have to realize that by becoming formless, there is no need to let go. There is no need to even intend your reality or visualize the life that you want. Those things help. But first, prior to all of that, choosing it and knowing that it's done, because there is no gap between you and set goal. There is no need to take action. Action is a mental construct. Action is implying that there's a you and then there's an action. It's two separate things. There's you and then I have to do this, take an action. You are action. The implication that the mind says it's an action creates this sense of separation and that you need to will yourself into something, when in actuality you are action now. You are action. You are happiness, you are fulfillment, you are samadhi, you are enlightenment, you are successful, you are peaceful, you are the version of yourself without anxiety, you are the version of yourself that is consistently taking action in the gym, consistently meditating. Doesn't matter what it is. You're all versions of yourself right now. It's just a choice. The idea that you need to learn how to become consistent is a narrative that your brain is creating. Consistency doesn't exist. The brain is creating a narrative about creating habits and all of this stuff. When in actuality, you are consistency. I can guarantee there's an area of your life right now where you are consistent. Whether it's consistent at going on YouTube, consistent at brushing your teeth, consistent at going to bed every night, consistent at going to your job. You're consistent at things. You're just not consistent at the things that you would like to do. Because there's fears and anxieties and doubts and stuff around it, which is also a narrative, right? It's also stories that we tell ourselves. And I don't mean to gaslight here. That sounded a little bit like a gaslight. Obviously, we have these beliefs and stuff, but they're also lies, they're also illusions that we are creating, and we're becoming attached to them. And as we become attached to them, we manufacture and create more of it. You know, I used to be a chronic procrastinator. I used to procrastinate real hard. I used to really identify with procrastination. And I used to beat myself up about it. This was many years ago. This was over 15 years ago. And when I look back at it now, I can see how indulged with my mind I was and how much it was holding me back. I identified with being dyslexic. I identified with having ADHD. I identified in being not a good reader. I identified with being a bad communicator. Your wish is my command. Because it's oneness. I was choosing, unwillingly, unknowingly choosing to be that version of myself. It's a choice. And so whilst the narratives, the mind, the emotions might feel strong within you about a specific topic or specific area, and it feels very real and it feels very visceral, you're choosing to notice it as visceral, as strong, as something that's going to be hard to overcome. You're creating a story, a narrative around it. What if it was easy? What if it just disappeared overnight? What if you just chose to be the new version of yourself now? What if you just identified as being a consistent action taker and you just made that choice? That's it. Now, obviously, you're going to have some hiccups along the way because the brain has memory and it has emotions and we have feelings and sensations. But as soon as they arise, become formless and don't identify with them. I'm not saying to push them away. I'm not saying to avoid them, because in avoiding them and pushing them away, you are actually creating more of it. I'm saying to become formless. And to not judge it. And to not label it. That is just an expression of energy from your past choices. You are emptiness and fullness at the same time. You are the yin and the yang, or yang, the yin and the yang. What you are not is the stories that you tell yourself, the beliefs that you have, the thoughts that you have. The brain wants to hold on to those things because it makes this me, this is who I am, personality. But you're not your personality. You are the operator of personality. When you are able to step into this formless state, you are all personalities. Extroverted, introverted, ambivert, emotional, logical. Your personality isn't fixed. There's been books done on this particular topic. Dr. Benjamin Hardy, for example, has made books on it. Dr. Joe Dispenza's made books on personality, that you can recreate self. Because it's just the ego, and the mind is flexible. The mind has neuroplasticity. In my personality type, I used to be an INTP, introvert, intuitive, thinking, perspective. But now I'm an INFP. So instead of a TP, I'm an FP. personalities change and evolve over time. As you get older, especially in the older ages, and what I've heard from people who are the elders is that they care less about what people think about them, and so they're able to embrace more of their true personality. It's when we are younger, when we're starting to learn about who we are, we're more self-conscious, and so we feel more anxiety and fears. Be formless, care less. When I say care less, I mean care less about your goals. Because as you care less about your goals, you're reducing the importance of them. And by reducing the importance of them, you're not trying, you're not putting this energy and force behind it, you're not swinging a pendulum, you're not becoming attached to them. Care less, become formless. It just is. It's already done. Just choose. The mind will tell you something different. But that's its number one job. Because the ego wants to maintain itself. There's nothing to maintain. Because it's being maintained for you. But the ego wants a sense of control. And it is scary to let go in that way. To let go of control. But that's what's so beautiful about it. That maybe perhaps the most challenging thing to do is the most beautiful thing that you can do. The most scariest thing that you can do is the most beautiful thing you can do. With love. If you would like to continue this journey with me, there's going to be a link in the description where you can join my group and become a part of my Awaken program, where I teach how to step more into your heart, create a connection between your heart and your mind, how to get into these enlightened states and manifest the goals that you set before you came here, step into higher states of spirituality, and ultimately fulfilling your soul's mission. All right? I appreciate you. See you in the next video. Peace.